That's my intro. It's my own intro song. I made it up all by myself. You're welcome. I hope you enjoyed it. Hello, everyone. I hate when you do that. I forget to mute my YouTube. So, how are you? How are you doing? How is it going? You gonna make it? We gonna be all right? We gonna be all right? Because there's a whole lot going on in the world, and I really hope that you're feeling okay because a lot of people aren't, and it's breaks my heart. It really does. I mean, I that's why I do what I do and I talk about what I talk about because for this last like 3 years, last 3 years of this bear market, it's been rough. I didn't know anything else, so I've never known what a bull market is like or what to expect or how to do anything really. And it's interesting now that the bull market has begun. And I know a lot of us don't feel that way, but it has because Bitcoin's doing its thing, Ethereum is about to do its thing. And from what I understand, that means we're next in line. And I mean, there are a lot of other little, meme coins doing their thing and pumping right now. And folks are just degenning like degens do. So I want to just again recommend that you take a deep breath. Remember, I was listening to a space the other day that was more of a Bitcoin, sounded like kind of a Bitcoin maxi space. I think it was more Web3 in general, but they got into Bitcoin. And it was interesting to hear some of the same arguments that we hear in our own community. Because there was the sentiment of people who, most of us, right, are here to make gains. We want to see our investment turn into something awesome. And there also are, and I don't think these people are separate, right? I think that we can have people in both, like a Venn diagram, right? I think that some of this overlaps, and there's a lot of people in this space. And I feel like within our ecosystem, even more so than any other crypto community, we believe in true DeFi. We want to see DeFi win. We want to see Richard Hart fix the money, fix the world, right? So I want to just share that we need to remember that while everything is going nuts, either up or down, we need to keep in mind that the narrative, the messaging, the outbound messaging, like it's really interesting to me to see where we're at as a community right now, because we're still kind of like waiting for our turn, right? And at the same time, we've had these last 3 years to build and do a lot of different things. And I feel like there's a lot of momentum happening right now. That's really good, to be honest with you. For example, Richard talking about the outbound mailing and postcards and things like that, which is not the first time he's brought that up. He has brought that up several times in the past. But I think because there's a little bit more eyes on what's happening, more people have started to come into crypto, right? Because, oh, Bitcoin is pumping, or for whatever reason, right? People are interested again. So we're going to get a lot of new eyes. There's going to be a lot of new people coming, maybe not new. Maybe a lot of these people are people that are just kind of coming back, right? They're like waking up to crypto. Oh, crypto, bull market's happening, right? So they're waking up to it again after their hibernation. But with that, also is going to bring new eyes and ears to the space. So I feel like it's really important for us to take what we've learned over the last couple of years. A lot of things did not work, right? There was a lot of things that we did, that we tried, that we said that didn't stick, weren't the right kind of messaging, and maybe weren't trying, it wasn't reaching the audience that we really need to reach, which is the people outside of this tiny little space. This, what, 2 to 3%? Is that right? Like, it's like 2 to 3% of the world is in crypto or something ridiculous like that. And maybe 4% even know. That's what I feel like sometimes, is that maybe 4% of the world even knows what crypto is, period. So let's take this momentum and really just dig in positively any way that we can. I really love, in case you guys haven't checked it out, I've been doing a lot of ink. I wouldn't really call them memes. They're more, what would you call that? Like messaging, posters, ads. Because this, this is what this stream is for. For the first time ever, I put my money, or put some of my bag, into an LP farm. And that stands for liquidity providing. For those of you that may be watching this that have never heard of this before, have no idea what I'm talking about. And I'm here. So here's the thing is, I made this tutorial. I watched RH Max's tutorial and I followed along with what he did, click by click. Now, here's the thing is, Crypto Coffee also has a great video on LP and farming. And he kind of discusses more of the why behind it all, and a little bit more of the details as to what it is that you're doing. And then Max has a very like step by, sorry guys, I can't, my hair right now, I just can't. Okay, better. Max's guide is very step by step, like click, these are the buttons that you click. So what I would like to do, and I'm not going to be able to do this today because I don't have those answers. I am not as well versed in what this is as someone like Max or Coffee. So I'm going to show you the tutorial that I made, and I'm going to have you either help me explain what it is that I even did, or ask me questions. And this is kind of going to be like an AMA on LP and how this all works and what it all is. Eventually, what I would like to do, and I've already reached out to RH Max about this, is to take the video that you guys are going to see, and Max and I are going to sit down and kind of go over it. I mean, I'm going to have him tell you what it is that's happening. I just can't handle my hair, you guys. I'm so sorry. Anywho, let's say what's up to the chat. Hey, everybody. What's going on? Zenith number 1. What's going on, sir? Good to see you. Thanks for having me on. I was on the DGen Roundtable talking about SciVive the other night. That was lovely. Nikki T says, can't wait until 2025 in the top of the bull, and hopefully I'll be able to quit my job. I see. Operation Shutdown with the pirate flag. Yar. That's right. Oh, speaking of pirates, the man himself, the captain. Hello, sir. Arr, it's here and you can't stop it or make it do what you want. True. Word in You says, what's up? Mr. Angry Twinkie. Hello, friend. He says, hello, friends and degens. We got Yellowtail here. SD is the coolest lady. I like that. I approve. The ATX Builder says, great energy. Thank you very much. I try. Mr. Angry Twinkie says, spoke with someone yesterday who said who sold their house and put gains into some farms. Now lives off yield from farms and relocating to lower tax jurisdiction. See, so here's SJ's level, and there's that level. That's how that goes. And here's the thing. The reason that I did this is because I knew I was worried at first. I was very fearful of doing this because I've heard from just different people, like at first really, that it wasn't, if you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't do it. Here's the thing though, I still don't really know what I'm doing. But I knew that I was willing to take the risk. And one of the things that I've seen that Hexlina said was that in this kind of scenario, there is no losing. And you know what? I'm going to also say that Whales Only said that. So here's the thing is, way back when PulseChain launched, Wales Only was screaming from the rooftops about how everyone should LP. And I didn't listen. And here we are almost a year later, and I just finally did it. So shout out to you, Wales Only One. I'm sorry for not listening sooner. But I also, mind you, did not have much at that point. I have DCA'd a bit since PulseChain launched. So I feel like now I have a little bit more that I can deploy, right? As opposed to just holding it. And on top of that, I wanted to earn ink. So that's a big reason why, because Wales Only One, and then also Hexlina, Hexlina kind of reaffirmed or restated a lot of the things that I had heard from Wales Only One, which was, hey, don't be scared of impermanent loss, because in the Richard Hart ecosystem, if you're doing it right, what really are you losing, right? Because usually one side or the other, you're going to be gaining something that you want, right? And the whole time you're earning ink. So I don't see an ink is getting so high. It seems all like win-win-win to me, but correct me if I'm wrong. All right, let's keep going on. The Ascending Man says DGen stream rate. What's up, guys? Yay! What's up, DGen Roundtable? Thanks for rating. Saying hello to everybody. Ascending Man says LPing farming is my favorite thing. The perfect money printer for the busy man or woman. And that was another thing, is that I feel like I may have misunderstood or misinterpreted and was under the impression that I was going to need to keep an eye on this more than I do. But also correct me if I'm wrong, right? If I should be looking at the percentages or what's happening in the prices and things like that, what do I need? We'll save that for the end, right? But that's a question to think of. Put a pin in that and remind me later. Don't answer that yet. But what are things I'm going to need to look out for as I'm doing this? But I want to get into the video. Let me finish the chat real quick, and then we'll watch what I did. Big Philly Steak says, Big Philly from Toronto here, vacationing in Pirate Land this week, Aruba. Big fan of LP farming. Hey, Toronto, guess what? We're coming to Toronto. We're going to be there after summer, I think. If you are in that area, you should definitely check out pulsechaintour.com. If you are in Vancouver, we're coming to Vancouver on May the 4th, and that event is now up on the website. So let me do the housekeeping, say what's up to the chat, and then we'll get into the video. So Utah event is going to be on the 13th of April. So we got a couple weeks, just 2.5 weeks out still. That's going to be an amazing event. Web3, AI, and crypto all rolled into a sweet little cinnamon bun. It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to being on a panel with Black Hexagon and Fashion Coder. So the three of us are going to be on there doing a Women in Crypto panel. There's going to be Drac and Brad of Tank Talk. Oof, what a dynamic duo they are. I mean, just two really brilliant friends that they've complement each other. They've known each other for years, and they work really well as a team. And they're doing something very innovative with Tank Talk. If you don't know about it, check it out. Tank Talk Wireless is their NFT, and it's amazing what it's doing. So that's really awesome. Donovan Jolly is going to be speaking. Hexray Vision is going to be speaking. Captain RG3 is going to be speaking. It's going to be a really great event. So, and if you cannot make it to the event in Utah, we have a live stream available now. And in fact, if you sign up now, you can still see the stuff from Vegas. And Vegas was, I mean, I had multiple people come up to me and tell me that they felt like the value of what they paid versus the information they got was just, it was invaluable. Like they really got a lot of gems in that. I mean, dollar cost crypto, right? Charlie. Oh my gosh, Eddie of Pulse Domains. That I love his presentation. Like he just goes into PulseChain, and it gets you more. I get more bullish every time I see him speak about all the things that have been built on PulseChain and what's happening with it. Tons of other great speakers from Vegas. And then again, if you can't make Utah, but you want to see some of the speakers there, that's how you can do it. It's pulsechaintour.com/live. And what else? I'll talk about other things later. Hopefully, I haven't been streaming as much on my own lately. Got a lot going on with the tour itself and NFTs included. I'm actually working on the NFTs for Utah right now. Really excited. I'm actually collaborating with Drac and Brad from Tank Talk. So that's going to be something really, really fun that I am excited to share eventually. And all right, let's finish this real quick. This sending man, this person said they don't care about impermanent loss. It's a long-term yield-bearing savings account. Right. So that's the thing is like, let's, we can get into that a little bit. What is impermanent loss? Why and when should you be worried about that? Ovidian says, whales. And the Ebonics lover says, I'm in a bunch of pairs, but nothing beats you and me. Best yield ever. We start on April 13th. Oh dear. Oh, we going on a date? Mr. Angry Twinkie, not a bad way to think about it, as he's looking at the coins rather than the dollar amount. Sadly, he can lose more of the coins he wants. Interesting. Cassie Kelly says, hi, yesterday. Hello, Cassie. How are you doing? And folks, like the video. Yes, please. How I Made says, is Wild SJ single and available? We'll leave that up for discussion on another day. Maybe. Next. Okay. So let me go to the video. And thank you for your patience and thank you for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Let's get to it. I just had to fix something on it, so I just re-downloaded it. So bear with me one moment. Did I even download it? Hold on. Shit. Oh, snap. I have to download it. Hold on. I did the editing in Veed. I'm trying to be smart about everything because a lot of the other streamers and content creators that I watch are always like, make sure you don't dox yourself, don't dox your wallets. I have one public wallet, right? It's my donation address, which, hey, link in the comments. If you'd like to comment, subscribe, and leave a donation, I'm not going to be mad about that one bit. All right, so here we go. Let me get this shared. And I'm going to go kind of slowly through this. I'll let it play, but I might stop it along the way and either say, this is where I have a question, or this is where I know exactly what I did. And again, this is if you're watching this, you might be totally new to LP farming and all that jazz. That's great because I am too. So I hope that we can learn together on this journey. So let me go to present here. Share screen. We're going to share this window. And let me play this. And there's no sound. So first of all, I went to gorealdefi.com. So shout out to RH Max for that. And you can click on the exchange right there. And then you need to connect your wallet. Now, I used Internet Money Wallet, and it worked great. I really like Internet Money. It's a PulseChain native wallet. And there were no glitches or anything weird. So if you have Internet Money, you know that you can use Internet Money to do your LP farming. Am I even saying that right? There's like two different things. Hold on. Let's pause it. Hold on. Let's discuss that real quick. So is it that you can LP or that you can farm, or like our LP and farming, is that an interchangeable way to say it? So let me know in the comments, because that's another thing is I just, the wording, right? Even as someone who's been in this ecosystem for a few years now, because I'm so new to this part of it, it's like getting into crypto all over again, right? Because all of the words we use, all of the verbiage that we use is just, it's like another language. So I am interested to find that out. And while I'm waiting, I'm going to take a sip of this here beverage I made. And all right, well, hopefully someone will answer that question for me or for us. LPing just collects LP fees. Stacking LP Farms Inc. Staking LP Farms Inc. Someone explain. Someone dissect that for me. And this is why I want to have RH Max and I together on a stream, or maybe we'll do a pre-recorded video. And just, this is exactly what I want to do. Again, this is just like me kind of sharing what I've done for you and what I want to make available for you in the future. This is not a comprehensive step-by-step guide yet. This is like version 1. Okay, so this is something that I just wanted. I know that I'm doing this. I want to throw it out there. I want to see what kind of questions you have. If you've never done LP before, like, what do you want to know? And did this tutorial, did this walkthrough make sense to you? So, all right, let's keep going. So continue. So I connected my wallet, and then I chose how much pulse. So here's another thing. So hold on before we go there. All right, so choosing the farm that you want to provide LP for, right? Did I say that right? A lot of people tell you that you want to look at the percentage. So let's say I had DAI, or even what's the best, USDT. Let's just say I had a bag of USDT and Pulse. You know, when I'm looking at these farms here, 118 APR, like that's pretty lovely. And that changes. I know that those things change depending on how much liquidity is in there. See, we're all learning together, right? Is that right? They change based on the amount of liquidity in the farm. So for me, I wasn't that concerned with the amount of APR, because I knew, and again, this is kind of why I'm doing this, because it's like, for me, I'm not too worried about the impermanent loss. I'm not too concerned with the amount of ink that I'm making, because it's not going to be very much at first. I wanted to be a part of the system. I wanted to make sure that I was playing my part and I was doing what I could with my tiny little bags to provide liquidity on PulseX. So again, just something totally brand new to me, but I feel good. I feel great being a part of the system and being able to do this. And then on top of that, I'm now earning ink, which again, minuscule amounts, but at the same time, I wasn't doing that before, right? So there's my soapbox. All right, so let's continue. So you click on the farm that you want to put your LP in. And then you clicked on that one part. And then you make sure you're on V1, and then you connect your wallet. You have to connect your wallet twice for whatever reason. Like it doesn't notice it's there from the first time. So wallet's connected successfully. You have to make sure that you're connecting it. Sometimes you have to go back and forth, right, on whatever screen you're on, to make sure that your wallet is doing what it needs to do versus, what it's being asked to do on the thing. So you choose how much liquidity you want to provide, and then you enable PulseX to provide that liquidity within the farm, from what I understand. So look at that. Success. Going great. Confirm transaction. So I went over back to internet money, confirm my transaction, and then click to send to DApp. All right, so then back here. Now, so this is the part where I'm just like, well, I did it right. And there's just like a lot of different steps that you go through in this process that it was just kind of over my head, because like I said, Max's tutorial, he's not saying what you're doing. It's just you're clicking these buttons step by step. Again, great tutorial, but for someone like me, I want to know more about what it is I'm actually doing. Like what, how come how come the first step of just putting the liquidity in there, how come that's not it, right? Like what happens after that? Like, why did I have to enable and like approve the contracts and like there's so many different steps within this process that it's just, for someone like me, brand new to this, a little overwhelming, right? So again, here, like I'm just, I'm connecting again and approving something else in my wallet, and then, and then that gets approved, and then now something got enabled, and now I stake my LP, right? There's just so much going on. And at first it was scary because I was just like, well, shoot, I don't want to, I want to make sure that I'm doing this right. But I knew that if I followed the guide and just clicked the right buttons, I'd be doing it correctly. And now I'm at the point where, okay, I did it, right? I've hooked up everything. It's all working the way it should. But how do I ensure that I know, that I know what I'm doing? How do I explain this to other people, right? Because what I'm doing right now with y'all is not, this is not at all what what I want to put out there, right? So again, that's why I'm going to have RH Max, or I don't know if hopefully he's got the time. We've talked about it. So he and I are going to sit down together and go over that step by step and really just be able to tell people, hey, like, this is what you do. This is how you get to this part. And this is what you're doing when you're clicking on these buttons. So that's it. That was my little video. I'm going to post that later. I don't want to just, I mean, obviously, like, this will be live. People can see that video if they, want a little more detail on how to click the buttons. If you're using Internet Money Wallet and you want to know how to LP, this video is for you. Maybe. It's a little bit of an intro for someone like myself who has never done anything like this before. So let's go back to the chat and see what everyone's saying and if we've got any questions. Let's see. I'm gonna let you guys are kind of having a conversation. Only V1 staking LP farms, ink on V2 creating LP earns LP fees. See, like, for me, like, that's all Greek. Like, I understand only version 1 staking LP farms ink. Like, that, I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. Someone translate this. Someone make that make sense to me. Danny Boy says, I sit around for hours and all I wanted to do was trade this for that, move from one wallet to another, and then providing some LP or farm. Yet I watch for hours fly by. It's frustrating at times. Well, what do you mean? You sit around for hours. All you want to do is trade this for that, move from one wallet to another, and then provide some LP or farm. Yet I watch hours fly by. So what do you mean? Do you need help with any of that? Because I can help you with most of that. I feel like you've been around. You should know how to do these things. Zena said, excellent video. Thank you. I'm flattered because I don't think it's that excellent. But I mean, I guess, like, the video, like, not this whole stream. But yeah, the video itself, I think does a good job. Also, if y'all saw something in there that maybe I shouldn't, like, if you saw numbers that shouldn't be there or that would, like, dox me in any way, let me know. I had someone watch it and they caught something that I hadn't seen. So yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Like I said, it's just a little bit of something that I threw in there because I want to be a part of the system. So How I Made says, I've been farming since V1 on testnet. You're doing great. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. And that's the thing is, I was interested in all of this when testnet was out, but I was terrified because like a year and a half ago, I was a year and a half into crypto and all I knew was HEX and PulseChain and, and I barely even knew PulseChain. I didn't even mess around on testnet that much because I didn't think that I would be doing LP, because it seemed like for someone like me who at the time had just this, tiny little bit, because again, I didn't know what I was doing when I sacrificed. I didn't know what a sacrifice was. I barely knew who Richard was. I barely knew and understood HEX. So, obviously in hindsight, I would have done more. But, thankfully, I did get into both sacrifice sets. But it was just, a touch, because I was just like, well, what does this even mean? Like, what am I even, like, sacrifice for? All right, freedom of speech. Like, that sounds great. Like, I was on board with it, but I didn't understand really what it was that was going on or that we were doing. So to even think about, doing LP or anything like that was just so beyond my comprehension at the time that I decided to kind of remain ignorant of it. And I regret that. I wish that I would have learned. I did try to learn. I'm not going to say that I was, like, completely just like, oh, blinders on, I don't want to learn anything. I did definitely watch some videos and look into it. But again, it felt scary, which is why I want to put this out there, because I was not, very, like, I wasn't interested in it because I was worried that because you hear these words and permanent loss and that's the biggest one you hear when it comes to this kind of stuff. So, and I hear people, say, don't do it if you don't know what you're doing. So it's just important, I think, that we don't let fear rule us. And that's always been a rule for me. That's been something that's huge in my life in general, is that I don't move from a place of fear ever. I'm a very confident person in general. So I wanted to do this, even though I didn't know exactly what I was doing, right? I followed the step-by-step process, not knowing exactly what each click was doing. And I got in and I'm farming ink and I'm happy as a clam, but I still don't understand it completely. So that's why, again, I wanted to just put this out there, get some information from you guys. If you're watching this on the replay, leave a comment, leave a question, leave an answer. I've got questions, you know what I mean? In fact, what was the question? Oh yeah, so percentages and so once you are in the farm, once you're farming, what do you need to be worried about? What do I need to check on? What do I need to ensure that I'm doing correctly? And how often do you harvest? Like, is that up to you? Do you just decide, oh, hey, there's, this amount of ink in my little farm, so I'm going to take this ink and I'm going to put it, somewhere else or do something else with it? And is that what you do? Can you do that? Like, do I harvest my ink and then if I wanted to, that ink is just like sitting in my wallet now and I can move it to another wallet if I wanted to? I probably won't. I'd probably just leave it there and let it stack up. So let's see, what other questions do I have? Yeah, what to look out for? Oh, another question that I have, and I did, thanks again to lulz.pulse, Hexlina Steak 5555. I did ask, and because I was concerned about this because I just wanted to put a little bit out there and say, hey, let me dip my toes in the LP farming waters and see how it feels. And I like the temperature. Can I then add more liquidity to my position? Can I increase the LP that I'm doing? And she said, yes. And I said, that's awesome. So I'd also love, if you're watching or want to put it in the comments, tell me a little bit about that. How does it work when you want to add more to your position? If all of a sudden, things go great, when things go great, price go up, and I'm able to take a little profit, and then I want to put some of it to work because I know that I'm going to do that. Part like a percentage of profit, I'm definitely taking, and then maybe some of that profit, or maybe I'll just kind of consider it as profit, remove it from my liquid bag, Pulse or PulseX, something like that, and put it into my liquidity pool, or continue using that for liquidity or add more liquidity. So those are all things that I'm super interested in knowing more about. So let me go back here. All right. So Danny Boy says, great little stream. Thank you very much. Zena says, excellent stream as well. Total W. Thank you. Danny Boy says, just saying, SJ, that there are many buttons to click, and with old computers and slow connections, things take so much time when no coiners may think it's just a button or two. 100%. Absolutely, I agree with you. And that's something that it can be overwhelming, and it can be a barrier to entry for people because they're not sure, if they're doing things right. In fact, I feel like the first time I actually tried to do this and I had recorded myself, it didn't work. I was watching the Internet Money wallet, and maybe it was my misstep, but I went to do like the first step or two and it just wasn't working. Like something wasn't connecting right, or maybe it might have been also that I was supposed to click something on the Internet Money wallet page and I didn't realize that I needed to be in the other browser tab. It's just little things like that, right? I mean, that even something as little as, because if you're using a different wallet, like say MetaMask, a lot of times the MetaMask wallet or Rabby wallet is going to pop up, right? Whereas Internet Money, you have to switch to the browser. It's not just going to pop up and be like, hey, click me here. You have to be aware, the PulseX DApp is waiting on me. Decentralized app is what DApp stands for. The PulseX DApp is waiting for me to go into my Internet Money wallet and approve this transaction or this coin or whatever it is I need to approve. And then you can go back to the dApp and continue doing what you're doing. So I agree. It's pretty nuts. All of this is still technical level above the normies, very much so, 100%. And it's, you know, we forget that. And that's, I think, another big theme or idea that we need to be reminiscent. We need to remind ourselves of that this language, everything that we know, everything we've learned over the past few years, we're deep in this. Even someone like me who doesn't really like do all this stuff and understand it completely. And this is one of my first ever videos concerning like a walkthrough or a tutorial or something that has to actually do with crypto, because most of the time I'm either talking about SciVive or my life or trying to cheer you guys up and let you know that it's all going to be okay and wag me, right? So I hope that was, again, keep your eyes out for the actual tutorial that I'm going to do at some point in the near future. Let's see. How I Made says, for sure, it's a steep learning curve. Everyone has to learn at their own speed. 100%. Hello, Moondog. Moondog says, love and light. Danny Boy says, you're a breath of fresh air, SJ. Nice having a down-to-earth girl join on the RHDFi train. Choo-choo! I'm about it. I'm on the RHDFi bus right now. Do you see on my camera? So the table that I use, it's a Lagoon mount, and it's not very stable, so it shakes a lot, but that's all right. Impermanent loss equals permanent gain. Interesting. And I saw someone, I think it was Hexlina, say something to that effect, right? Because it's like, it's only loss when you sell or when you end your position, right? How I Made says, when PulseX launched, after a couple months, there was a bug that only gave ink. It's supposed to give ink and LP fees. That's why there's a V1 and a V2. Very interesting. So does that mean that I should be doing... So what is V2? Does V2 also give you fees? Should I be doing V2? Why did I do V1? More questions. I have more questions. Answer them. Let me know. And again, hopefully this is something that Max and I can go over when we do our thing. But I probably will go back and watch. I don't watch a lot of my own streams, but I'll probably go back and write down the questions that I have so that when he and I speak, I will know. Taubda says you need to water the crops and your harvest time depends on the crop. I love that. And that's, I think this is kind of silly, but part of me really loves farming in general because I was a farmer. Like I literally worked on organic farms all over Texas for years. So the fact that I'm doing it now in the digital world is silly, but wonderful. I'm also farming in my backyard. I got some peas growing. Dude, there is something that comes in the middle of the night and eats my food. I had a strawberry. Oh, it was so beautiful. It was this beautiful strawberry, and it was just a little white on the end. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave it one more day, and it'll be perfect. And that motherfucker came to my garden in the middle of the night and stole my strawberry. I'm so mad. So now I need to just like have like I need like night scopes and cameras and like a pellet gun or something to shoot whatever it was that ate my fucking strawberry. I wanted it so bad. I've got like several strawberry, and also like whatever it is, it's like it pulled it so hard that it pulled my plant out by the roots. So now it's fucking up my plants. And anyways, the dangers of farming, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's see. Crypto Vince, hello friend. Ermagerd, oh, Ermagerd, it's SJ. That's me. We should go get breakfast again, friend. I enjoyed that. Let's have another meal sometime soon. How I Made says, yes, you can do everything you mentioned, LOL. Okay, cool. Very cool. Hex to the moon. Hey girl, hey. What is up? Moondog says, MasterChef.soul contract is the prime source for these questions. Asking a dev to help translate can a sum of the inevitable corruption of signal to noise when getting info down the chain. Oh, can avoid the corruption of depending on the game of telephone of base for understanding. Very cool. Danny boy, I'm going to scroll over these real quick. V1 to Farm Inc. Okay, so this is, you know, like I'm interested in this too. TL don't want to read the contract. V1 to Farm Inc. V2 to bank on liquidity provider fees. So what are liquidity provider fees? What does that even mean? Like, what do you get? What fees do you get? Do you get the fees in the coins that you're providing liquidity for? How does that work? Her Hex to the Moon says, SJ, so glad you're doing this kind of video. We need it. I know. And that's the thing is there are so many content creators out there that do this kind of content that think that they don't need to do it again. And I get it, right? Like you've said the same thing 10 times, 20 times over the last 2 years. How can you say it again a better way or a different way? And maybe you can't, but you should. And that's why I'm doing this, because I am a noob and I want to be able to translate the technical, you know, gobbledygooky wording of people that are in crypto that think that they are speaking to the masses that are not. Because if you think that you're saying all these words and people understand what you're saying, they don't. They don't. No one understands what the fuck you're saying. You got to dumb it down. Like, and I hate saying it that way, but like you really do have to just do the whole explain like I'm 5 thing and you have to take yourself out of your little bubble and pop the bubble and remember that there's a whole wide world out there that doesn't even know what Ethereum is, has never heard of Bitcoin. So how are those people going to get this? They're not. So I'm really hopeful that I can break this down in a very simple manner and help people understand what it is they're doing and how even to do this and why they should do it, right? So this is like step 10 down the line, right? Like step 1, get yourself a wallet. Step 2, get yourself some PulseChain. Step 3, hold forever. No, you know what I mean? I'm saying that like there are certain steps people need to take to get into the system. And then once they're in, this is something that they should do and they should learn. And I think that we need to just learn how to speak to those people, because that's how this grows, right? That's how all of this gets bigger. That's how DeFi wins, is that we teach the people who do not know and do not understand yet. So some more infos from friends. All the V1 fees that you would get goes to the buy and burn of PulseX. Interesting. Okay. So V1 pumps. Oh, okay. So V1 pumps PulseX. Okay. I like that. V2 LP fees. V1 Farms Inc. Okay. Yeah. V1 higher buy and burn rate. Okay. Interesting. I'll have to look into this later, Moondog. Master Chief? Am I saying that right? Dot Soul contract also has a note contract, is ownable and transferable. And community has shown it can be trusted. Speculation, Inc. Key to future governance. Yeah, man, that's Strawberry Thief. Ugh, so frustrating. Deer or rabbit will munch through a bunch of that up here. Yeah, my backyard's, I mean, I'm in the city, so it's definitely not a deer. I don't think it's a rabbit either. I think it's a squirrel. The fucking squirrel got me. Stupid thing. Like, I don't even know if an electric fence would work, honestly. I think the little thing would just like beep, 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 jump around. All right, Danny Boy says, I am a mushroom picker now. Very cool. I don't know if you watch her or follow her yet, but you should. If you don't yet, she's also going to speak in Utah. No, I'm a liar. It's not Fashion Coder. For whatever reason, I got Fashion Coder on the brain. She's such a doll. Samantha. So Samantha, who does a lot with the Texan Token team, she's growing mushrooms. I cannot think of her handle right now, but I will find it and put it in. I'm gonna do that right now. In fact, let me find her. She is awesome and wonderful, and I love her content too. So if you like watching me, Samantha is definitely someone else that you would enjoy following, because she's very positive and has a lot of light and love that she gives. So here is Samantha's X handle. On that same note, I'm also going to, since we're kind of on this note right now, I'm also going to give you Whitney Magic. I'm going to share her profile as well. Those are two women that I really love following and watching, and they've got a lot of great positive things to say all the time. So check them out. Mushroom picker. Now that used to harvest cherries for years. So Danny boy, I've got a cherry tree. So years ago, when I was around a little bit more at my mom's house here, because I've lived in Austin for the last 16 years, and now I'm back in California with my mom. And I mean, I'm in the bus, but I'm in her backyard. And I planted a cherry tree probably 6 or 7 years ago, and it's just now starting to fruit. That there's a fig tree too. The fig tree is literally actually fruiting right now. I wish, man. So she's not. I love my mom, but she does. I planted this garden to help encourage her to get outside more and to do more in her garden and do her thing. She's just really not that into it. So, I came back this year and I'm like, all right, well, let me plant some other things. I asked her what it was that she likes to eat and what she wants. So I planted a bunch of things that hopefully she'll, that she might get excited about. But long story short, the cherry tree, I think it gave maybe like a few cherries this last year, but I'm hoping for an actual harvest this year. And I hope that there's so many that the birds and the squirrels won't take them all like my fucking strawberries. All right. Excellent. Please do. You get a % of swapping fees. Okay. The Moondog says LP fees are the fees paid for swapping. Okay. Part of those fees go to the LP providers on pretty much all dexes, except PulseX version 1, where those fees accidentally buy and burn extra PulseX over regular buy and burn. So is it still an accident? So is V1 still like accidentally buy and burning more than it should? Is that a bad thing? Are we upset about this? I love this. I love learning about all of this stuff because I've seen people be mad about these kinds of things on X and just really had no clue. I've just been like, I don't understand it. So I have no say in this matter. So now I have a say. So I'm interested to learn more about that for sure. Danny Boy says V1, all the fees you would get farming go to the buy and burn for PulseX. Right. Okay. So V1 directly pumps your PulseX bags. Okay. Armando, spectacular stream yesterday. You are a tremendous asset to this community. Thank you. I appreciate it. Moondog says both pump your PulseX bags. V1 pumps everyone's PulseX bags more at the trade-off of your personal exposure being compensated more personally. Okay. Danny Boy says, if you want to earn liquidity provider fees, then you need to provide liquidity on B2, as simple as you can say it. Okay. Interesting. Moondog says, at the trade-off of your personal bags, not getting those fees. Right. Nice. You're going to be a master farmer in no time. I hope so, man. I sure hope so. Oh, good. All right, cool. So Danny Boy had never heard of Whitney, and I'm glad that I sent that information to all y'all. Hex to the Moon says, the ecosystem is constantly evolving and changing. I felt more confident in moves when I first started years ago. Then Pulse launched. LL, Liquid Loans launched, and so many new layers, so many choices. No kidding, man. No joke. There's so much to do. And here's the crazy thing, is that makes me super bullish because there's so much to do on PulseChain. And again, this is just coming from someone I've never been in another crypto community. I've never used another chain. I don't know. I mean, other than Ethereum, obviously. I don't know how any of those things do or work, but I hear often in different spaces or, listening and being on different channels and things that other chains just don't have a whole lot going on. So the fact that we had projects waiting for PulseChain. They were ready to go and waiting for PulseChain to launch. That is just mind-bogglingly bullish. And I think that we're really in for something awesome. I want to reiterate that. Don't lose hope, especially not right now. I know things feel nuts and it feels like the coldest, longest winter it has ever been. And even myself in the last week or so, it's been miserable. I've been just a little down about everything and stressed out and seeing all this the continuation of the infighting. It hasn't stopped. It's like just gone from like one stupid dumb thing to another stupid dumb thing, and it's dumb. Stop it. Just stop. We need to be building each other up, not tearing each other down. And remembering, and I love that RG3 talks about this a lot, just remember that we're here, you guys. We're in this tiny little microcosm of an existence on X, and we really need to get outside of that and start reaching out to people that are on the street, that are in different communities, that don't even know, that don't have a Twitter handle, right? Like, those are the people that we need to focus on, and we need to get this information out to. Brizology says, hi, SJ. Hi, Brizology. How are you doing? Moondog says, V1 gives a benevolent dictator more room to move than a traditional setup. But if you are still trying to secure your personal bags, understand when you are community donating versus personally building. Danny Boy says, after 5 years, you can get edible cherries. Yeah, I'm super stoked. I'm going to get cherries on that tree this year for real. You may need to use a bird net over your tree. I may have to do that. Over my tree. Yeah, it's permanent now, so it's good. Okay. V1 is a positive accident. Okay, cool. Interesting. Very cool. Too much is good and bad. It's a trade-off. Only time will prove what projects have good standings versus BS tokens. Very true. And you are driving now. Well, be careful driving. Godspeed on your merry little way. So thanks, everyone. I think I'm just going to end it there. I really appreciate you coming to watch this and be on this journey with me and helping me through it, and hopefully helping other people. Again, this is just the beginning of the PulseX LP farming information coming out of my mouth, and I hope that as I learn, I don't forget, where I came from and where I was in terms of knowledge base, right? As I'm on this journey, because I think that, again, for everyone out there that's creating content, that's really important that we take a step back, right? Remember our roots, remember where we came from and where we were, and recognize that a lot of the words and terms and things that we know that we're so familiar with now are totally foreign to the people that have never seen this or talked about it. So I'm going to read the last few comments here. No, I'm not going to check that. Let me see. Nice to be in chat with you, Moondog. And Moondog gives a thing. Yeah, I honestly, like, I never bring up charts or talk about coins or projects. So this is definitely new territory for me, and I hope that I did some kind of decent kind of job. Glad that the tutorial looked good. Again, if you have any feedback, if you have any questions, if you have any answers to questions that I didn't get to, then let me know. Again, still one of my questions is, and if you can leave a comment about this later, what is it that I need to be concerned about or look out for as I continue with my LP position? Like, is there a point in time where I need to say, oh, like too much of this or that, or too little of this or that is happening, so I should remove my position? Does anything like that happen? Or do I just set it and forget it and just leave it as this like source of passive income? And I think the answer is B. I'm pretty sure that's kind of how it works. But anyways, yeah, I'm out, ladies and gentlemen. Please remember to go to pulsechaintour.com. And if you've got a friend, family member, loved one, neighbor, niece, school teacher, someone that you've known, maybe your dentist, moved far away and they live in a city that we're coming to, definitely check that out and send them some information on how they can learn more about DeFi via PulseChain in their neighborhood. I love you guys a whole stinking bunch, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Bye.